and welcome to another episode of the Paradigm Project podcast with myself, Mark Gray. This podcast is designed to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and to be honest, anyone that is willing to listen with their health and fitness. If you are in the game of high performance, longevity, pain-free performance, strength training, nutrition, you name it, and you want to use those elements to make you a lean, fast fighting machine, then this is the place for you. So buckle up because we have another episode ahead of us. And welcome to another episode of the Paradigm Project podcast with myself, of course, your gracious host, Mr. Mark Gray. Now, today, I want to have a quick chat about Christmas. Now, I absolutely love Christmas. If you've known me for any period of time, if you've been on my socials or you've been getting my newsletter recently, you know that I love Christmas. And this year is no different. But as fun as Christmas is and as enjoyable as Christmas is, when it comes to your health and fitness, it is actually a pretty stressful time for a lot of people. And we know the cycle. What happens? We eat, and I say we, I mean people in general. I'm being very general with this. And that is, we eat a shit ton more food. We drink more. We sleep less. We exercise less. And we move less. And when we get to January, then what happens? We feel like shit. And then we go on that mission, or a path at least, of trying to lose that weight that we've gained inevitably during December. And that cycle just continues. And it happens every year. And the first year, maybe someone has gained 6-7 pounds and then they've lost 4. The next year, they've gained another 6-7 pounds. They've lost 3. But there's that buffer that they didn't lose. So they were in surplus of 2 pounds the first year, 3 pounds the next, 2 pounds the next. 10 years down the line, they're 20-30 pounds overweight. And that might sound like you, because to be honest, this is the cycle that a lot of people find themselves in. Now, personally speaking, I used to be in a cycle somewhat similar to that myself as well. Now, not to those extremes. But what I would do is because I do love Christmas. Christmas is a big thing in my household. And it always has been, and it always will be. But I had a slightly unhealthy kind of relationship with Christmas when it comes to food and drink. And that was a relationship of indulgence, which is what most people have. Indulgence with gifts, I'm good with that. Please overindulge with me all you want. But with food and drink, I would build up this big thing in my head that I was just going to go absolutely batshit crazy come December 24th and just continue like that until January, like 4th, 5th, or 6th, whenever it was I go back to work. And that continued for a few years. And it's not until I looked back and I realized actually it was quite an unhealthy mindset and mentality to have. And it was also just bad for my health. Because I would come out of January feeling like absolute crap. My energy would be crap. My body weight would have gone up by at least like 2 or 3 kilos. I'd be holding a lot of water. I just feel my mood and my mind would feel like crap as well, because I don't look as good. I don't feel good. I haven't been training and moving as much. When you're someone like myself that regularly trains 4 or 5 days a week, I move a lot. I eat well, like 80% of the time during the week. I sleep well. So I feel good most of the time. So to go from that to then go into absolutely nothing for like 10, 14 days, it was a big shock to the system. Even though I had good fun, and I was drinking and eating, having a great time with family and friends, it was too much. Now I've learned to enjoy Christmas still the exact same way. I enjoy myself, but the key is moderation. Okay. Alcohol or lack thereof does help. Will I go out and have some pints of Guinness? Fuck yeah. Because a life without Guinness is not a life at all, in my books anyway. personal preference, whatever your choice of drink is. But no, in all seriousness, it comes down to moderation, and alcohol does help that. I just seen a flash of lightning out my window. Sorry there. And yeah, so that's what I want to talk about today is just the mindset around Christmas, because as much as Christmas is a lot of fun, it can wreak havoc on people's health and fitness. And I see it all the time. And I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with myself. And that perpetual motion, that cycle you go through every year is not healthy. And a lot of it just comes down to your mind. And I've had some clients in the last year, especially last Christmas, that had their best Christmas yet in terms of results and were able to maintain their progress through Christmas. Did they have a great time with their family and friends? Yes. They had an amazing time with their family and friends. Yet they were still able to combine that with their health and fitness. Does that mean they were smashing gym sessions 4 days a week? No. It might have looked like them working out at home and doing 20 minutes and getting up earlier in the morning to get their steps in, or having a bit of a stretch, doing a few minutes of breath work, maybe prepping one healthy meal to negate the rest of the food they're going to be eating during the day. Just little things like that make a big, big difference. And if you want to go down that same road yourself, the one big tip I would give you is you need to be intentional. So with anything, if we want to get better at something, or we want to achieve a certain goal, it requires us to be intentful. So goals don't just happen for the sake of it. They don't just fall off a tree. If they did, everybody would be in great shape and healthy and happy and extremely wealthy and that sort of stuff. Okay, so it takes work, and that work requires you to be intentful. So if you go into the Christmas period thinking that there's no hope, that you're just going to gain weight, you're not going to work out, your steps are going to be in the bin, you're going to feel a bit crap from a mindset point of view, your energy is going to be low, all that sort of stuff, you're just going to eat, because that's what you've always done. If you think like that, then what's going to happen? That's going to happen. Whereas if you are intentful and you go, do you know what? This year, I want things to be different. I don't want to gain those 10 pounds again. I am sick to the fucking back teeth of gaining those same 10 pounds every Christmas and then working my ass off January, February to drop it off. Imagine if you could go into January pretty much the same weight as you were at the start of December. Maybe a kilo overweight. Do you know what? That's cool. We can lose that in a week. A lot of that would be water anyway. And you were still able to enjoy your Christmas as much as you possibly could with your family and friends and make amazing memories. Doesn't that sound good? Yes. But that is possible. It just it requires you to say, this time it's going to be different. Okay, so you got to lay out your intentions. Lay your cards out on the table and say, this is what I want from Christmas. Like, I think a really good practice is to grab a pen, grab some paper, and just write down, what do I want from Christmas? And I don't mean a Chanel handbag and a new iPhone. I mean, like, what do you want? Do you want to spend it with family and friends? Do you want to eat certain things? Do you want to drink certain things? Do you want to work out 2 times during the holidays? Do you want to hit 10,000 steps a day? Do you want to practice a bit of mindfulness around your nutrition? Do you want to maintain the same weight, or maybe only gain 2 to 3 pounds this Christmas as opposed to the 10 or 12 pounds you gained last time? These are all things that you can set out and be intentional about. That will make a big, big difference, because, just let me reiterate this point again, is that if you go into the Christmas period with like a bit of a defeatist attitude and just being like, this is the way it's always been for me, so this is the way it's going to be this year, then Bob's your uncle, that is what's going to happen. But if you go into this Christmas and go, I want to be different, I want X, Y, and Z to happen, then you have a much greater chance of that happening. Will it go 100% according to plan? Probably not. But even if it's like 70 or 80% of what you had laid out and envisioned for yourself, that is 70 to 80% better than zero or negative 50% or negative 100%, whatever way you want to put it. So that's one of my golden tips as such. We call it a Christmas gift from me to you, is be intentional. And it could start by just simply getting your pen and just writing down what you want from Christmas. Yeah, so being intentful is very, very important. Oh, peanut butter, chocolate protein, and banana with a load of ice in the blender. I cannot go wrong. Um, what else? Oh yeah. So very, very similar, very closely linked to that. Sorry, about being intentional and setting out what you want from the Christmas period is one of the things that works for my clients is to set goals. Now, obviously, January 1st is New Year's resolutions time, but as we both know, is New Year's resolutions are absolute bullshit and they just don't work. If you want to get ahead of the curve, set your goals now. So I'm gonna, or not, I'm going to, I plan my 2025 and what I kind of want, or obviously I plan the next year in December, whether that's business, personal, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, business and personal. And set out your intentions and set out your goals now. So then you have that to keep you focused for the rest of the month. Again, if we'll use just weight loss because it's obviously the most common goal people have. If you currently want to lose 10 kilos of body fat, if you want to lose 20-ish pounds of body fat, and you have that set for next year, you're like, that's my 2025 goal. I want to reach that by like September. But you know what? Don't wait until January 1st to solidify that and say, this is exactly what I want. Do it now. Write it down. Get your post-it notes. Write it down. Like, I want to lose, one of my goals for 2025 is to lose 10 kilos of body fat by June the 1st. Get that shit and then plant it on your fridge, on your laptop, wherever in your office. And it's just a way of you just every day subconsciously telling yourself, this is my goal, this is my goal, this is my goal. And then when you are in those situations, maybe at Christmas parties and just around the house, then maybe you will be more inclined to be a bit more mindful with your nutrition. Or when you're sat in bed and you're like, oh, I don't want to get up and go to the gym, or I don't want to get up and meet Mary. It's always Mary. Meet Mary for that walk and go for a coffee. I'd rather stay in bed for an extra 30, 40 minutes. Maybe that goal will come and just be like, oh, do you know what? Actually, that's my goal for next year is like, get my ass out of bed and go for a walk. So that's a very, very, very important point in my book is to set your goals now. Set your 2025 goals now and get excited about them. Create some big ass lofty goals, performance wise, gym wise, personal wise, relationships, experiences, business, all that sort of stuff, family. Set them now and put them somewhere you can see them every single day. And that will help you out. It's going to help you keep focused. And as much as I don't like motivation as such, because motivation is bullshit, because motivation will only get you so far, discipline is what is needed when it comes to achieving results. It will actually help you keep more motivated during this time of the year because motivation dips, and that's just natural because if you're in Western Europe, like I am, even though I'm in Barcelona, it's pouring rain now. It's darker, it's colder. The motivation to go out and be more active is just less. Like we're supposed to be hibernating. It's December. And yeah, so it will keep you motivated somewhat. So I've got a few more things. I want to keep this short and snappy. Next one is just not to down tools. It's super common. December, it's year end. is now I'm all for breaks. I think one of my favorite things about this time of the year is that it forces rest on a lot of people. People that would not normally be associated with rest. This time of the year forces on them. So for those super busy entrepreneurs and execs and business owners, all those sort of guys and gals, for them, typically it forces rest on them. Okay, businesses shut down for a week, 2 weeks. They get to stay at home, no traveling, that sort of stuff, and it just does wonders for their psyche, their mindset, and also just physically as well. Helps them de-stress and that sort of stuff. So it's very, very important. But what we don't want to do is down tools completely. Down tools with your work, by all means. Close that laptop, put your out of office on. But when it comes to your health and fitness, like you just don't get to down your tools and you're not allowed to. Do people do it? Of course. But ideally, you should never down tools to your health because this is a 365 days a week. A week? That'd be a long week, Jesus. 365 days a year commitment. Does that mean you're going to work out every day? No. Does that mean you're going to be on it with your nutrition every day? No. Does that mean you're going to sleep well every day? No. But still, it's a commitment to yourself. So the idea of just forgetting about everything health and fitness wise for like a week, 2 weeks is it's just not very smart. Okay. So just do little small things like set yourself mini goals to go for a walk in the morning with your family, to do 15 and 20 minutes of like really quick workout in the morning. Like it could be like a few sets of push-ups, squats, lunges, some core work. Bang, there you go, done. But it's just you keeping the ball rolling, and that's what's key is momentum. Momentum, momentum, momentum. So don't down tools completely with your health and fitness at this time of the year, because what you're going to be doing then, like I just said a few minutes ago, is come January, you're playing catch up. So if you can get into January actually with some momentum, and imagine how much momentum you will have if you've known that, like, say, you got to work out 3 times between Christmas and January 1st. You'd feel amazing, especially if that is not something that you normally do. You will feel incredible then come January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, because you're like, I've got all this momentum so I can go into the new year absolutely smashing it. Not like tentative, not slow. You've already got the rust out and then you can hit the ground running come January. And then two more things. One of them is just to be realistic. Okay, so be honest with yourself. What can you actually achieve? What's plausible? What do you also want to do? So that also gets back to like writing down what do you want from Christmas. And yeah, so get realistic and get honest with that. Last thing I'm going to finish on is just about myself and what my plans are for Christmas. So my plans are obviously to enjoy the hell out of myself. I spent like 15 minutes going through BBC Food website last night, finding like the amount of recipes I found was just, yeah, it was mind boggling. I would keep scrolling down and I was showing Teresa, it's like, I'm making this, making this, oh, making this. I was like, you're making this. So I've got about 18 different recipes I need to make. I've got the intentions of making over Christmas. I'll probably make two, but yeah, so I'll be enjoying myself with food, with drink. I will be Irishing up my coffee probably most days. I will be eating what I want, but I'll be doing it with limits. I'll be mindful and I won't be going over the top. But what I'll also be doing is I'll be walking. So I'll get my 10, 12,000 steps a day. I'll get most of them in the morning. I'll get some after dinner. Because walking is like a superpower. It's like a bit of a cheat code during the Christmas holidays because it obviously burns energy, makes you feel better, it lifts your mood, helps digestion, all that sort of stuff. So it does really, really help. I can't suggest it enough. I'll work out probably 2, maybe 3 times between the 20. I'll probably work out like 27th, 28th, and 29th. Bang, bang, bang. And then that'll be me then till January 2nd or 3rd or something like that. So I'll take quite a bit of time off. And yeah, I won't be smashing it in the gym. In terms of work, I'll take 7 to 10 days off. But yeah, I'll be using this time of the year to rest because I do think that is extremely important. So if you're in that position now, you've been absolutely crushing it with work, you've been all over the world, your business is doing great, your foot's been on the pedal all year, please, I can't stress it enough, and stress is the key word, is just relax. If you do have the time, relax, enjoy Christmas with your family and friends, and just try and de-stress because obviously then come January again, it's all hell for leather and you go back at it. But besides the good food and the good drink and the family and friends and the good times, the thing I love about this time of the year the most is the ability to just help people de-stress. Now, it can be quite a stressful time as well. Like I said, around your health and fitness and other stuff. Maybe seeing the in-laws. I know that's a tricky situation for some people. Um, but the ability to just relax, it can't be, you can't put a price on that because stress does kill. So if you have a chance to de-stress yourself, grab it with both hands and run with it because it's so important. I'm going to leave it there. I think I've said enough, but just to wrap it up, don't down tools, but do enjoy yourself. Okay, like just be intentional. That's the word. If I was going to give you one word to go away from this podcast and this episode, it would be intentional with what you want. What do you want from Christmas? What goals are you going to set yourself for next year? Do it now, and also just let others know. Don't be afraid to let the people around you know what your goals are or what your intentions are. Like if you are the one that usually indulges in the food and drink, but you don't want to do that this year, but you're afraid that's what you're associated with because of what you've always done, and you don't want to put people out by doing something different, just don't be afraid to say, like, in all honesty, I want to really enjoy myself, but I want to do it with limits because my goal is X, Y, and Z next year. And I want to really, like, it's super important to me. So by me being a bit more mindful of my nutrition, it's going to help me do that. If I get absolutely pissed tonight, I'm not going to be able to go to the gym tomorrow morning or go out for a walk. Things like that. Okay, so tell those around you what you want. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to love you and leave you. What is it now? Recording this episode is going to come out on the 13th of December, Friday the 13th, actually. I might sneak another one in before Christmas, but if I don't, I'm going to say happy Christmas and thank you very much for the support in the podcast and just business in general on my socials and life and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, as always, hit the subscribe button, like, review, send it to friends, families, so on. And yeah, if I don't see you next week, then I will see you in January, I think. But yeah, awesome. Right. That was good fun. As always, have a great week. Have a great Christmas. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that. And I shall catch you soon.